Welcome back! In this installment, I'll show you how I drafted my bodice pattern pieces. I start by pinning a piece of muslin or scrap fabric tautly around my dress form, making it as flush to the body as possible. Where you stretch the muslin depends on where the pattern needs to be. Since I know I need armholes, the muslin needs to go higher up. And since both sides are mirrored, I only have to go halfway across the body. Then, taking a pencil, I sketch out how I want the garment to look. Drawing on the physical form helps to visualize even further how the neckline and the length of everything needs to be. At this point, I decided that despite having a front tech corset being easier to put on alone, I really like the idea of having corset ties in the back because I like the look more. Unfortunately, that means I'm probably going to need help putting this on again, but I'll be happy with the end result. After I draw out everything, I cut the pieces off the form. On a flat surface, I cut the drafted pattern pieces further on the seams I drew out on the body form. Next, I trace the drafted pattern pieces on paper. I'll take my body measurements and translate that into the piece, making things longer or shorter as needed. These side bodice is a little bit confusing because the armholes and their corners don't necessarily add up, but we'll get to figure that out when we cut out the official fabric. My memory is saying that I made this longer and this reaches around more, which is why it's so curved. So luckily I drafted this right, but we'll find out. I finished the front piece and I'm almost done with the front bodice. And so these two come together right here. And basically all I did was take the muslin piece and trace it out, the rough shape, and then going off of measurements of my body or tweaking exactly how I want this to fit or look, I went ahead and translated that to paper, and that's how you have a pattern piece. So I did the same thing with the front bodice. I took this little piece, translated to paper if I wanted it longer or shorter, added curves for spots where there's curves like for the bust, and of course straighter lines with the ruler. And that's about it. I'll then trace over the lines with a marker, adding seam allowance, then cut those pieces out. After all the pattern pieces are completed, I cut them out on duck canvas. This is the foundation layer of the bodice. This will be hidden under many other layers, so I can tailor this better and then edit the patterns if needed. Having it laid out, it looks pretty good. I pin everything together and sew it down. So the first draft of the bodice is done, and so far so good. Basically, after I sewed all the patterns together, even this sleeve holes have potential. So the thing I have to do now is just cut down here just to make sure they're all together, especially on this side, and then, you know, fit it to my body because the dress form doesn't exactly fit me, and cut in the armholes and kind of prepare for sleeves. Since my main fabric hasn't shown up yet, I'm gonna take my time with this just because I want to be able to continue sewing over the next couple of days. So that's as much as I'm gonna do today. Straight from the pattern looks pretty good, but there's still edits to be made. In the next installment, I'll show you how I make the entire foundation layer, including adding boning. See you next week.